My late father made me a doll, but my girlfriend thinks it's creepy, so she stole it to get rid of it. I, a 26-year-old male, have been with my current girlfriend, also 26, for almost 4 years. Last year, I gave her a key to my house. She spends a few days there, but we don't live together full-time. A few days ago, I had to make a quick trip for work. She asked me if she could invite a few of her friends to my house for a girls' night. It was on Thursday. I accepted. I returned yesterday in the morning, and the first thing I noticed was that the rag doll was missing from the wall. My first instinct was to call my girlfriend to ask if she'd put it somewhere else. She denied it and said the doll was there. It wasn't. I checked the GPS on the doll. Yes, it has GPS. The GPS marked the house of one of her friends. Let's call her Jess. I tried to be nice and told my girlfriend to tell her friend to bring it back before 5 p.m., and I'll pretend this never happened, or I'll involve the police. She tried to fight it, but I told her about the GPS. Well, my girlfriend called me back saying that Jess denied having the doll. We had a huge argument and I warned her that I wasn't playing about getting the police involved. I waited until 5 and went to the police. We went to her house and got the doll back. I pressed charges. My girlfriend and I had a bigger argument about me pressing charges. They, including her, knew the doll was made by my father. They could have stolen anything else and I wouldn't have bat an eye. I gave her friend a chance and she tried to play stupid. They've been calling me a jerk and to drop the charges. I'll answer some of the questions I'm getting here. The doll is now with me. It's a rag doll, better said, it's a Raggedy Ann doll. My father had many hobbies. He tried making dolls and was planning to sell them. But the first one he made was a frickin' Raggedy Ann doll. So it didn't last. He was too manly to sell Raggedy Ann dolls. Ridiculous, I know. He gave me that one. And actually, he made 4 more for my best friends. The doll was hanging in my room, but once he passed away, I hung it in the living room. It has X's as eyes and looks creepy because it looks dead. It has a GPS because my home was robbed 7 months ago. I don't care if they clean the house as long as they leave the doll. I've more expensive items that Jess could have stolen, so I don't know why she'd steal the bloody doll other than a sick joke. Also, my girlfriend never complained about it, at least not to me. I haven't talked to her other than her telling me to drop the charges. I'll talk to her tomorrow to find out why she let her friend take the doll. They've been here before and never done anything like this up till now. We'll also talk about our relationship because right now I'm thinking about breaking up. I hope I do this right. Before the update, I just want to give some context about why the doll is so important to me and to correct myself for saying my father was too manly to sell dolls. My father got sick just before I was 15, kidney failure. He retired and filled his time with hobbies. A year after his diagnosis, I came home from school one day and he was finishing the doll. I asked him if he was going to sell it and he said he was going to, but not anymore. I asked him why not and he replied, "Who'd buy a doll from a man who looks angry 24/7? Before his diagnosis, my father would have laughed about it. He would have made more to fill a big box, knocked on every door and sold them all. But now he was worried about what people would say, if he could sell them. He was anxious, less energetic, less confident, doubtful and afraid. None of this was in his mind before. The illness was not only beating his body, but also his mind. We thought he'd made peace with his disease and the time he had left, but reality finally caught up with us. It was a turning point in the way we moved forward. I have other things my father made. I carry some with me. Others are in a safe. I tried to put the doll in a box, in a closet. I even tried to give it away once. I just don't have the heart to do it. It gives me peace to see it out there. The tracker may seem excessive, but not for me. My ex knew about the sentimental value of my doll. Okay, here's an update. Many of you hit the nail on the head with your speculations. My ex came over yesterday. She was a mess. She explained that she actually had a problem with the doll, but instead of telling me, she went to her friends. They told her that it was creepy, weird for a grown man to have a doll, and that I was too attached to it. This only reinforced her feelings. This was a regular topic between them, and they came up with the ideas to get rid of the doll, but she'd never followed them until Thursday. Her friends were fed up with her for not doing something as we were planning to move in together. Before they left, my ex and Jess talked. They agree that Jess would take the doll and my ex would take care of the rest. My ex forgot about the GPS, and when I confronted her, she panicked. She actually called Jess and told her about it, but Jess told her not to worry and that I wouldn't do anything about it. But obviously, she was wrong. I broke up with her. She tried to plead and even suggested couples therapy, but I just couldn't stand being with her anymore. Jess made a post on Monday on Facebook trying to gain sympathy. My ex called her out, and the other 3 friends who were involved also chimed in and they tore each other apart. Other friends from them who didn't know about it got the whole thing from the post and they're cutting them out. Some family of Jess and my ex also got involved. I don't know the details of it, but Jess's parents and my ex's family personally came to apologize yesterday. I called Mr. Lawyer and told him we can continue with the process, but he says nothing will come out of it, even with my ex's confession. He'll try either way. I've already changed the locks and I'm buying cameras for the whole house. Final update. I've got messages asking how I am and what happened to my ex and her friends. So here it is. Jess, aka the thief. Like I said before, it was difficult to achieve something, so nothing really happened legally to her other than public embarrassment. The other 3 friends, aka the accomplices, the last info I got is that they reconciled as friends after their boyfriends broke up with them, but they still don't talk to the thief or my ex. My ex, aka the doll hater, she tried to contact me for a few days, but she couldn't reach me, so she tried something else. Due to the robberies in previous months, my neighbors were paying constant attention for any suspicious activity, and they let me know there was a weird lady roaming the streets in different cars. It was my ex. It was difficult to get a restraining order, but I did get a no-contact one. She was served at her parents' house, and they later visited me to let me know they're going to make sure that their daughter doesn't bother me anymore. The last info I got about her is that she had changed jobs and moved out of state at some point of last year. As for myself, after everything was settled, I took a position that was open in my job that requires constant travel, but ended up returning to my previous one because my life took a wild turn when I found out that I'm going to be a father. A single father, to be exact. My friends got me a great lawyer and things are going terribly well, as she says. So yeah, I'm excited, scared, and still freaking out, but I like to think I'm doing that in a good way. There you have it. Well, you're not the jerk, but what occurred to me reading your story is that this is like a drawn-out version of a sitcom story. Girl finds the perfect guy who has one little flaw. Often in the TV version of this, it can be that they're a messy eater, have an insane laugh, or some other foible. In your case, a creepy doll that makes everyone uncomfortable. Girl tries to just deal with it for a while until one of their friends talks her into doing something crazy, and a breakup and wild hijinks ensue. But TV shows do tend to gloss over how disruptive it is for the quirky partner who has their stuff vandalized or their harmless habits attacked. I get that it's weird having a creepy doll in your house, but honestly, if it has such emotional significance, you're an awful partner if you just try to take it away from them in such an underhanded manner. If it was giving her nightmares or something, there was a conversation to be had about it. Not what happened here. I think that if the author had been open to it, her suggestion of couples therapy might have been something that could have helped, but ultimately it's their decision. My boss told me I was fired as soon as I got to work, laughed, and walked off. I spent the next 2 hours shutting down my station and packing my stuff. I even destroyed my client list. Mine was the largest in the branch. When I got home about 3 hours later, he called me. "Hey Zed, where are you at? I can't find you in the office." I said, "You fired me. Why the hell would I be at work?" "It's April Fool's. It's a joke. Get back in there." "No, you clearly said I'm fired. I'll be taking unemployment for a few months and filing a complaint with HR." He lost his crap and I just hung up on him. It's not frickin' funny and I'm taking a vacation and riding the wrongful termination train. He's called me 10 times and I think HR is calling me now. I kept my physical copy of the client list and destroyed the digital on-site copy. Okay, update. I have a remote meeting with HR tomorrow and I'll be talking with a few other people in the company too. I'll post more developments as they come. Stay safe. Second update. Okay, it's about 12:27 Central Time. I'll make an update in about 4 hours. Apparently a chunk of my colleagues walked out after he yelled at a few of them last night. My boss has been put on leave. He also sent me no less than 72 messages via text and 13 voicemails, all of which I'm too lazy to look at the moment. HR and another department lead have been talking with me since 7:30 a.m. Final update. Alright, so after cooling off, talking with HR, some other team leads and a lawyer for several hours last night and today, it looks like Michael is losing his position in the company and has been put on leave. He's being replaced by someone from my team, and the other people he ran off are coming back and getting a raise for staying. I'm being shuffled to another team and getting a $5.15 raise. 4 bonus weeks of vacation starting yesterday. I needed a break. I'm going to use it all right now since the company is already doing some rearranging and such. The team I am getting, I'll also be a secondary lead on, and it's a team I've been trying to get onto for 3 years. Much better bonuses and clientele. So I get a promotion and a raise. The new boss is far less of a hassle and she's a lot more laid back. She went to a great effort to get me to join the team she knew I wanted onto today and yesterday, and gave me a lot more than I wanted. Michael looks like he's fired from what I can tell. He has a history of issues, but he got his severance from what I heard. My co-workers from the previous team looked to have collectively complained and used it as leverage for raises. I think they'll get them too. It's weird how fast this has all turned around, but I think I'll be in a better place for it financially. Some of the advice from the internet helped a lot, and I wanted you all to know that. I'll drop a few updates. I'm still doing some coordinating and stuff at the moment. Looks like I'll be taking my old client list with me and merging it with a starter client list they want to give me when I move into the new seat. I also got a performance and goals bonus I was supposedly going to get in February. Not sure what happened there. Okay, to cover a few issues I'm seeing in the comments, this manager has had a series of issues, and I just found out some may have been harassment claims in the past. He wasn't fired because of me, but because of the damage he did to the team in one day and a history of issues. Also, my employer operates at near 100% capacity and functionality 7 days a week with team overlaps. We can't shut down without problems. Keep on being awesome. Gosh, industrial action is just great. A workplace collectively calling an oppressive boss on their bullcrap and bringing all of their abuses of power crashing down around them. This is yet another case of managers joking about firing their employees, who then interpret it as an official statement and are seemingly fully able to successfully walk off the job without further repercussions. There you go, managers of the world. It's already the ultimate sign of insecurity and power flexing, and you're likely a terrible boss if you joke about firing your employees, but there's a build-up of cases to suggest that if you do it, you're opening yourself up to a whole can of whoop-ass from your disgruntled employees. And boy did this guy end up eating his words. Called on his bluff by everyone and revealed for his incompetent self by a mass walkout, moments before he got canned. Sweet revenge and a great upward movement for our author. If you like Am I the Jerk, you're probably going to love Am I the Genius. Check it out, linked below. Also, go to amithejerk.com/submit if you would like to submit your own stories. No, mum, dad, younger brother and aunt, I'll keep on doing my little tradition. I had an older brother who died in 2014. He was the older brother any girl would have wanted, and we were close. He taught me the valuable lessons in life such as cooking, driving, and never giving up. He showed me anime manga, and would go on little road trips, and we'd flat out ignore our parents' favoritism with my younger brother. Sadly, my older brother died when a shooting happened. He wasn't the criminal, he was only eating and it happened and there was an investigation, and the police found out he wasn't involved in any illegal activity. One of the shots killed him instantly. He was only 25 and I was 19 in 2014. I'd be lying if I said I didn't fall into a deep depression. It came to the point where I stopped eating and lost about 55 pounds in a month and a half after his passing. I only drank water and milk that would fill me up. I didn't want to get better until one day my former sister-in-law called me to tell me that he had left me some things. I met up with her and the stuff he left behind was an album with Polaroid pictures of our crazy adventures, graphic anime tees, and a chain with both of our initials. I was in tears and decided to get help because he'd love to see me happy and not die of sadness. It's been years since his passing and I'm doing a lot better, and I have a tradition that on his birthday, that I go and leave flowers on his grave. I only stay 2 minutes and then leave after singing him happy birthday. My therapist said this was a good idea. However, my parents, younger brother, and aunt decided to have an intervention, thinking religiously that I was doing something satanic, that I was calling out the dead, and that they should have thrown the things he left me in the garbage, and that I should attend their church to see if the Lord gets these diabolical ideas out of your head. I was shocked and told them that I won't stop doing this tradition, and I won't be attending their church. That this was their older son, and that if they keep behaving like this, I won't feel bad at all for having to go no contact with them. They kept on yelling at me, and my aunt went as far as to throw holy water at me. I'd had it by then and told them that when they stop being religious nuts, we'll talk, but as of today, I want nothing to do with them. I left before any of them could say anything. It's been a week since the incident, and I've blocked their numbers. I just saved myself from toxic family members, and I won't go back there ever again. Yeah, these guys sound more like cult members than good educated Christians. Honoring the dead is an important part of almost all religious cultures, including Christianity. I'm glad you didn't ask if you were the jerk, because that would suggest even a possibility that you were in the wrong. Maybe if you were getting gentle remonstrances and questions from your family, it might have been understandable, if still not cool, but outright kicking off with an intervention and literally throwing holy water at you is insane. They aren't ready to be reasonable, and while I hope they might come back with a more open mind and tolerant view set, it sounds like the satanic panic runs too strong for them. Honestly, the fact that apparently they lavished attention on your younger brother, rather than their two eldest, may have actually saved you both from some hardcore indoctrination. Mixed blessing, I guess. Am I the jerk for doing the absolute minimum chores after my girlfriend's parents implied I wasn't a man, and she agreed with them? I work from home and my job is relaxed and doesn't require me to be glued to my screen. My girlfriend's work is in a stressful customer service job, and most of her days are terrible. In the 2 years we've been living together, I do practically all the chores around the house, and I try to treat her like a queen when she comes back to me. However, the one thing I can't do is be a handyman, no matter how easy the task is. A few months ago, the bathroom door hinges needed replacing, so I called a friend to help. Last week, during lunch with her parents, I asked her dad about the project he was working on. He does woodworking as a hobby. He showed me the progress on his phone and suggested I should help him with the last touches. My girlfriend told him that I can't even replace door hinges, let alone help with that. Her mum said that every man should know how to fix things around the house, and her husband agreed with her. The remainder of lunch was very awkward. It was like they were my real parents and were disappointed of me for being a huge failure. After we left, I told my girlfriend that I didn't expect their reaction. Instead of taking my side, she said that they were right because it was embarrassing that I need to call a friend to help with something so trivial. I reminded her that I get nervous and anxious every time I touch a tool. I admitted it was stupid, but it's just the way I am, and I've been very honest with her since the start. She still didn't change her mind. I told her that since their idea of being a man is twisted, I must share the same view and start working on being their version of a man. I told her that I'll stop cooking for her, I'll stop doing the dishes, laundry, and cleaning. The only thing that I'll keep doing is taking the trash out and grocery shopping, so that I could focus my time and effort on becoming a man. Yep, I'm sure she'll love that. If she doesn't, maybe she'll leave you and you'll get another partner with in-laws who appreciate everything you do around the house. Because, as a man who bakes, cleans, and does meal prep for the majority of his long-term partners in the past, I can tell you that most of them are thrilled with at least that part of things. And I've never judged a friend in my life for needing help with a handyman project, as long as they were providing the beers while we worked on it. I don't know if this is a cultural thing for the author, but it seems very old-fashioned and problematic of a viewpoint for these people to take with him. Also, where are the people skills of your girlfriend's family? That feels like the most awkward and stilted family dinner. Levy criticism, and then move on to talking about what color fridge they want to replace the old one. Awkward in a way that only families can be. That time, I just stood there and bled while I waited for my boss to acknowledge my existence. I just got a nosebleed for the first time in a while, and it reminded me of this story. I got them fairly often as a kid, but no less so as an adult. One day, while I'm in the office, I got a pretty profuse nosebleed. I tried to just plug it up and keep going about my day, but this one was lasting. So I headed over to my boss's desk to let her know that I was going to work the rest of the day from home and take care of my nose. She's currently talking with one of my coworkers, and normally I wouldn't interrupt, but given the circumstances, I came up and started with, "Excuse me, boss, sorry to interrupt, but..." Without looking, she cuts me off and says, "You can clearly see that I'm in a one-on-one. Please be polite and wait for me to finish." All right, you got it. By the time she was done, the tissue I was using to plug my nose was getting redder, and when she looked up, it wasn't a pretty sight. She asked me why I didn't say something sooner, and I just repeated back to her what she had told me. She sheepishly said, "Well, obviously, stuff like this would be an exception." I just shrugged and walked back to my desk to get my things. Overall, she was a decent boss, but she had a few quirks like this that eventually put a strain on our relationship. Eventually, I found work elsewhere. This sounds like one of those moments as a boss that you kick yourself for a while afterwards. If, as you say, she was often just a decent boss, I'm sure that this was a case of her being a flawed person, not so much a jerk. Sometimes superiors who are pretty chill put their foot down and assert authority at just the wrong moment. If they apologize afterwards, no harm done, I say. Hopefully she learned to at least look at the people who talk to her in the future. Most of us who go to lower or middle management spend a while finding our feet, and it takes a while. Never stop learning, peeps. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. Put the playlist on in the background to finish listening to all the stories. Or if you want to check out some great music, check out easymode.com. If you like Am I the Jerk, give Am I the Genius a shot. Everything linked in the description.